Today I'm going to take you through 2 easy ways to do a Scrabble layout for a monthly title page and a 1-page weekly layout in your bullet journal. Hi, I'm Ruby from the Useful Journal. Like this video and subscribe to my channel for lots of journaling ideas, including how to use your washi tape stash. I'm starting off with a 1-page weekly. Often a double-page spread can be a bit overwhelming because it can feel like you've got to do more artwork to fill in the page, or alternatively, there's more pressure to find events and tasks to fill in your boxes because with only a couple in each day, it can all look a bit empty. Using a ruler, the page is divided up so there is a header area and then 7 boxes for the days. If I'd used a height of 2.5 centimetres per day, it would have only left 1 centimetre for my header, so I settled on 2 centimetres per day. Because the boxes are the full width of the pages, there's still plenty of room for each day's entries. You don't have to pencil in all the lines. It can be just as easy to make a mark at the end of each row to line up your ruler for when you use a pen. An advantage of using pencil first for all your lines is to check you're happy with the layout of the page before making it permanent. After I had the lines for the boxes, I began drawing the outlines of Scrabble tiles which would represent the days of the week. I started out drawing them freehand, but they looked very wonky, so I erased them and started again, this time using a ruler to get the sides straight. After drawing all the sides, I added rounded corners by connecting the straight sides. Once I'd penciled my lines, I grabbed a pen in a light colour so there'd be less ghost into the next page and began drawing the lines. I then picked out a Pigma Micron pen in the thinnest nib width I own, a 003, also to reduce show through. I could have used a ruler again, but having the pencil marks makes a big difference in being able to draw straight lines freehand. The pen dried super quickly on this paper, so I could then erase the pencil and start filling in the boxes with a mild liner highlighter. For these boxes, I did it the smart way, highlighting first, then adding the black letters afterwards, as this significantly reduces the risk of smearing the black pen. Using a light colour means I can still see my pencil marks for the lettering, and it also means there's less risk of bleed through like we saw with the darker mild liners I used for the future log layout. You can also reduce bleed through by the way you use the pen. The more continuous the motion of your pen, the less the ink settles on one point. You'll find that doing a single stroke results in more ink at either the beginning or the end of the stroke, just because you tend to hold the pen there longer. I outlined the letters in a Pigma Micron pen first to increase accuracy, and then came back with a Tombow N15 marker to colour them in. Now, you'll see that I coloured the letters in the header before doing the background this time. You'll also see that I got a little smearing on the J before I realised I had a problem, and so was more careful about highlighting over the black after that. For the tiles marking the days of the week, instead of putting the Scrabble score on the tile next to the letter, I added the date. This is a hypothetical month, not the real June for this year. For the header, I just have the actual Scrabble scores for each of those letters. Finally, I used a grey Tombow marker to create a shadow on two sides of the tiles. Just try to imagine where the light is coming from, then create shadows on the opposite side or sides. The most common way to add shadows is like I have, on two adjacent sides. It should also start just off the corner, not square with it. And that's it. That's a very simple weekly finished. Moving on to the monthly title page, I'm going to do Scrabble tiles again to spell out June, and that's all I'm going to do. You might think that this leaves too much blank space, but it actually looks okay. Don't be afraid of white space. Instead of drawing the tiles on the page like I did for the weekly, I decided to cut the tiles out of brown paper. Finding a straight edge makes it a bit easier to get true squares. Otherwise, if you have a guillotine, you could use that to get an accurate square. Before I cut them into individual tiles, I decided to add my letters. I wish I'd done that before cutting it all because it's easier to draw your letters when you've got more paper to hold on to. I started out colouring the letters with a Pigma Micron blunt tip marker, but I had trouble handling it, so switched to a Pigma Micron 1 with a pointy tip. I started off trying to cut the corners on the letters by eyeballing them while I cut, but as you can see, it really didn't go well. So I replaced that letter, then drew the corners in pencil before cutting them. Instead of drawing my shadows with a marker, this time I decided to select a grey paper from my stash and cut out matching squares to use as the shadows. Once again, I started from the existing straight edge, choosing a side that wasted the least paper. I followed the same process as before, but this time I saved myself having to erase the pencil by drawing the corner marks on the reverse side, which would be glued to the page. As this is such a simple title page, instead of laying the letters out in a straight row, I made the layout more random, like I had for the header of the weekly. I glued them down and there's the finished title page. I think it looks pretty good with just the June word. If you really wanted more, you could draw a Scrabble board behind it or have a tile holder rack with some spare tiles in it, say 3 more to make a total of 7. But that's a lot more work and I'm trying to keep things simple for you. Like this video and subscribe to my channel for more ideas. I hope you've been inspired by this idea and I'd love to see it if you try it. Make sure you tag me, or you can tag me on Instagram with @theusefuljournal. See ya!